Sean Conlon grew up in small-town Ireland, the son of a hardworking father and a mother who believed education was the only way out of poverty. But when opportunity ran out at home, Sean packed a single bag and flew to Chicago with barely a few $100s. He took the first job he could find, cleaning floors and painting apartments. He lived in cheap rentals, saved every penny, and studied how people with money talked, dressed, and invested. Every night, after mopping office floors, he'd read the Chicago Tribune's real estate listings, circling properties he could never afford. But instead of letting that crush him, it became his motivation. He promised himself that one day, he'd own the buildings he cleaned. While still working menial jobs, Sean noticed something the wealthy overlooked: undervalued properties in up-and-coming Chicago neighborhoods. He took a huge risk, borrowing a few $1,000s to buy a small rundown apartment building. He spent weekends fixing it himself, repainting, replacing doors, and renting it out. When the building's value doubled, he realized he'd found his path. That one property became the spark that ignited a lifelong journey. Instead of chasing quick money, Sean focused on understanding value before everyone else did. He began to network with brokers, study market patterns, and save aggressively for the next deal. Each flip taught him new lessons: how to negotiate, how to manage tenants, and how to build trust in a ruthless industry. By his early 30s, Sean had left his janitor days behind. He founded Conlon Real Estate, a brokerage that grew explosively during the 1990s Chicago boom. He was relentless, knocking on doors, cold-calling property owners, and closing deals while others were sleeping. His company sold hundreds of millions in real estate, and soon major investors started calling him directly. Sean didn't stop there. He reinvested every profit into prime real estate holdings. While many chased luxury lifestyles, he built quiet equity. He became known as the Irish hustler, who turned sweat and paint brushes into skyscrapers. His discipline transformed him from cleaner to owner, from worker to employer. Sean's brokerage became one of Chicago's most powerful. He expanded into development, financing, and TV, starring in CNBC's The Deed, Chicago, where he mentored new investors. His personal portfolio crossed the billion-dollar mark. He started mentoring others from humble beginnings, teaching that the American dream is real, but only for those willing to work like they're still broke. He invested in luxury properties and commercial spaces, but always kept his humility. When asked how he built his empire, Sean said, "By doing what others refused to do for longer than they thought I could." Sean Conlon's story isn't just about real estate. It's about transformation, about rewriting your own odds when life hands you nothing. He didn't have connections, mentors, or investors. He had grit, curiosity, and the courage to start where he was. What made Sean different wasn't luck. It was how he thought about failure. Every time a deal went wrong or a loan was denied, he treated it like free tuition. Failure was his university. The streets of Chicago were his classroom. He often said, "Every property tells a story. You just have to know how to read it." That mindset is the foundation of his billion-dollar empire, spotting value where everyone else sees risk. His approach wasn't glamorous. He lived modestly, saved aggressively, and let his money work harder than he did. If you strip away the skyscrapers, the success, and the CNBC cameras, you'll find the same man who once mopped floors for a living, just operating on a higher level. His life became a blueprint anyone can follow. Lesson 1. Hard work is your first investor. Lesson 2. Don't fear starting small. Fear never starting. Lesson 3. Learn faster than your peers and act sooner than your doubts. Lesson 4. Invest before you flex. Patience is profit. Lesson 5. Build something that pays you while you sleep. Sean Conlon proved that wealth isn't about where you begin. It's about refusing to stay there. He showed the world that the janitor, the immigrant, the underdog can build an empire brick by brick if they dare to believe it's possible. If this story hit you, don't just watch and forget it. Start your plan tonight. You might not own skyscrapers yet, but your foundation starts now. Every dream begins as work someone once called meaningless. Subscribe to Path to Billions, where we turn real stories into your next strategy. Because the next billionaire we talk about could be you.